Hey everybody, welcome to the video. As you all know, I love Nintendo. Who are you? What's going on? Hey! What the? No! Please! No. Hey everybody, welcome to the video. As you all know, I like PlayStation. If you're watching this, that means that I am dead. Or I finally finished another video and uploaded it. I can't really remember which. Lately, I've been in a somewhat nostalgic mood, but on the other hand, I also want to try some games that I've never played before, so how can I solve that problem? Well, how about playing a bunch of games on an old console I didn't own back in the day? The PS2! I mean, it's one of the best-selling consoles of all time with tons of classics that I've either never or barely played, so I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I'm missing out on. So I gathered a whole bunch of PS2 games and put them in this stack. Check out my stack. It's a pretty nice stack. Excuse me, my eyes are up here. Anything from some of the console's most iconic classics to a bunch of garbage I found at the thrift store. And anywhere in between. And for an entire month, I wasn't allowed to play anything else. We're talking a full PS2 diet, a PS2 cleanse. Only the stack. I just thought this would be a fun little challenge to try. If you guys like it, let me know. Maybe hit the like button, hit me up in the comments, and maybe I'll do another one sometime. And with that, let's start with the very first game on the stack. Something pretty obscure. Everywhere Road Trip. If you take a look at this box, you'd probably think it's some kind of generic racing game, and it is a racing game, but it's a lot more than just that. It's also an RPG with cars. It's a car PG. I stole that term from a friend who told me about the game. I'm not that clever. Once the game starts, you name your character, and you also name your world's currency. I decided to go with Peen. And then there's a cutscene where the car president says, "I'm stopping. I'm going to stop. I'm tired of being president. Why do I have to be locked up in this small room? I'm going to hand over the presidency to the one who wins the World Grand Prix." Gosh, what a thing to do. Yes, this is a good idea. Okay, let the whole world know. Yes, President. Oh no. And with that, we're off. And we're a car. A very shitty car. We've got bad traction, we're slow as hell, and the turning. Oh my god, the turning. So if we're ever gonna win all these races and become the car president, we're gonna have to upgrade our parts. Our body parts. You know, because we are physically the car. I still can't quite get over that. And to do that, we will need money. I mean, Peen. So you drive all around the world trying to get as much Peen as you can. Driving on a mountaintop to get Peen, driving underwater to get Peen, driving through the desert to get Peen, driving to freaking Rainbow Road to get Peen. Go visit Race Car Santa and get his Peen. By the time I'm president, I'm gonna be drowning in Peen. The main way to get Peen is to win the races, or at least finish in a top 6 position. The driving mechanics are pretty simple. You can speed up, you can drift a little, and that's pretty much it. Nothing groundbreaking or anything, but despite that, it's surprisingly fun. Since you suck so bad to start off, any race you manage to actually win is super rewarding, and the more you're able to spend on upgrades, the more satisfying it gets to drive your car, both in the races and in the open world. It adds a real sense of progression, which gives you motivation to play and get even more Peen. I'm thirsting for Peen. I need it. But you don't have to go solo. You can also recruit 2 other cars to join your team, and whatever Peen they earn, you get to keep. And you'll have to upgrade their parts too, at least if you want them to actually win anything. All right, first place. How are my teammates doing? Oh. Good job, guys. Keep it up. And if upgrading doesn't work, you can always try my favorite strategy, sabotage. Excuse me, sir, I'm gonna need you to move. You're doing great, sweetie. There's so many other things in this game too. There's side quests and secrets, mini games like soccer, golf, or even gambling, which makes any game better in my book. You've got your own little house to show off your collectibles. You can build up your own city called My City. And the game even has this guy. Ooba booba boo, oon baba.
Okay, bye-bye.
What more could you even want? And if you like laughing, this game definitely has you covered. Since the PS2 had so many games, we're talking over 4,000 versus the Xbox's 988 and the GameCube's 646. Pathetic. There's a lot of hidden gems like Everywhere Road Trip that most people probably haven't heard about. And I've got a couple more like that in the stack, so stay tuned for those. I ended up playing this a lot over the month, and I think it might be one of my favorite PS2 games. Heck, it might be one of my favorite games ever. I seriously liked it that much. It's also my new favorite sellout game. Yes, this is a product placement game. A toy car in Japan known as Chorokyu. All of the cars are supposed to be Chorokyu toys, which I guess makes this game a commercial? Luckily, I'm completely immune to advertisements, so it's not gonna work on me. I bought one. It's pretty cool. And I hope you are also not immune to advertisements, because here is an advertisement. Ever since my wife and I had our daughter a year ago, I have been tired. All the time. I was seriously considering some kind of nutrient supplement or vitamin, and that is when I came across Groons, the sponsor of this video. Groons are a convenient, comprehensive formula packed into 8 gummies a day. It's not a multivitamin, a greens gummy, or a probiotic. It's all of those things, plus more, for a fraction of the price. And on top of that, it's convenient, portable, and fun. First try, baby. And it actually is really tasty. Groons comes in this wonderful brand new packaging with the exact same formula and great taste. Why does it come in packs of 8? Well, in order to pack in all the nutrients that Groons provides, you need 8 gummies. And you'll want to eat all 8 of them too. Fruity. Groons are vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, nut-free, and there's even a sugar-free option, which is the one I've been using. Groons contains 100% of your daily needs for safe vitamins without giving you an excess of minerals that might end up doing more harm than good, unlike other vitamins, supplements, and powders. Groons helps with your gut health. It can lower the chance of pesky brain fog throughout the day, and it even has biotin and niacinamide for thicker hair, healthier nails, and better skin. If Groons sounds right for you, then use my link in the description to get up to 45% off. Feel healthier, have more energy in your day, and more importantly, help support this channel, right? Right? It's a win-win. And big thanks to Groons for sponsoring. Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
I wasn't allowed to play this game when it came out in 2002, but I still did.
You can't ground me now, Mom. It's past the statute of limitations.
At least I played it a little bit at a friend's house a couple of times, but all we ever really did was take turns seeing who could cause the most chaos and kill the most people before the cops stopped us. But I'm a grown man now. I've changed. I now obey all the laws, even the stoplights. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get back here! Obey the law!
Speaking of law, the cops are insane in this game.
Sometimes you could run over people or even straight up murder a guy right in front of them and they don't give a shit, but they change lanes into me? How is that my fault? And I get a freaking gun pulled on me.
I played a lot of GTA 4 and 5, and I feel like it's pretty easy to lose your wanted levels in those games, but in this one, even with a low star level, it's practically impossible.
Apparently I've got the balls to run straight up to a moving vehicle and carjack it, but not the brains to lock the door. These guys are freaking relentless. They bravely run into battle no matter how moronically outnumbered they are. They will take you down and they're willing to sacrifice as many innocent bystanders as it takes. It's actually kind of crazy how similar this game is to GTA 5 despite coming out,
Wait. When did GTA 5 come out again?
2013? It's been over 10 years since GTA 5 came out? How is that possible? The mission structure is basically the same, although there's definitely been some quality of life changes. If you die or fail, you lose all your weapons and body armor, which means you gotta drive around and get more, and then drive all the way back to where you start the mission, then drive all the way back to the mission, and then probably die again, because let's be real, the combat in this game kinda sucks ass.
Nobody screws with me.
You've got to be kidding me. Oh my god. The controls in general are a bit clunky, but when you have to shoot in first person, it's straight up ass. I'm trying to shoot people with a Gatling gun who are just freaking standing there, and it's just about the most stressful thing I've ever done. And the resolution is so bad. I'm being pretty generous with the sharpness enhancing filters on the editing here, and I can still barely read the text on the menu. I guess I need to raise the sharpness even more. Now that's what punching a granny should look like.
Realistically, if you want to play GTA Vice City, you should probably just play it on PC, but I had a lot of fun on this PS2 version still. It's actually kind of crazy all the stuff they were able to do with this game, as well as the sequel San Andreas on the freaking PS2. I mean, not only is it a really old console, it was the least powerful of the consoles in its generation. The story and characters are great and everything, but I have to admit I did eventually devolve to my old ways. I just want to cause chaos.
Go for it. I'm not scared. Get back. Push me, man. I don't want that trouble, man. Where the hell am I?
Shadow of the Colossus! 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 I think I need to say it one more time. Shadow of the Colossus! This is the only game on my stack that I have not only played before, but also beaten before. It's just so good that I can't help myself. I'm playing it again. Sue me! I didn't play it when it first came out, though. In fact, I was a little bit of a hater, if I recall. I still remember it being covered at E3, and one of the things that set it apart was that there were no dungeons, no levels, no enemies, only bosses. Being the Nintendo fanboy I was at the time, I thought, get a load of this guy. Only bosses? How's that gonna work? Yeah, pretty well as it turns out.
The game starts with the player carrying the lifeless body of a girl into a vast, seemingly empty land and placing her onto a shrine. Then an ominous, disembodied voice says if you defeat all 16 beings known as Colossus, Colossi? Scattered throughout the land, then he'll revive her, probably.
Sounds like a good deal to me. I trust literally anything told to me by a disembodied voice.
Punch yourself, idiot.
Okay.
So killing 16 giant gods that are 10,000 times bigger than me, how hard could it be? Yes, this is a Colossus, and if you'll notice, he has a shadow. Oh my god, it's just like the name of the game! Again, there's no enemies in the world, there's very little story or dialogue, but the game makes up for that with some of the most epic boss fights ever created. There's giant ones, there's smaller ones, there's ones that can swim, there's even ones that can fly, and you just kind of crawl around on them like an ant. Look, I'm not trying to be a buzzkill here, but there's literally no way this guy with his wobbly-armed, lanky ass could possibly have this strong of a grip. I'm starting to think this wasn't a very good idea! But not only are there no enemies, there's also no puzzles, because the boss fights are the puzzles. You can't beat them with raw power, you have to outsmart them. Yeah, that's right. Take this, idiot! Uh-oh. They all have weak spots somewhere on their body, you just have to figure out how to expose them. Hitting a crazy shot with an arrow, or making a crazy dodge at just the right second.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
Probably the most badass I felt in the entire game was the giant sandworm boss. He charges, you can barely outpace him on your horse long enough to pull out the bow. Pow! Right in the eye. He crashes into the wall, you jump on his back, stab! 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 Everything feels so epic right up into the point where they actually die. Oh no, I killed him. Oops. At first the story seems simple. Gotta save my woman, so giant goats gotta go. But beneath the surface level, there's obviously something weird going on. Why is nothing happening? I think my game must be broken. Every time you kill a Colossus, after a brief pause, you get violently tentacled, pass out, and then wake back up in the temple with the shadows of the slain Colossi staring over you like some kind of sleep paralysis demons. As you get towards the end, you get even more hints about exactly what's going on, and it all leads up to one of the more emotional and iconic endings I can think of in a video game.
And that's not even counting the saddest part of the whole game.
He's probably fine.
I did end up beating this game again. I had a whole lot of fun with it. And since I was trying to play all the games on the actual PS2 console, no ports or emulation, I did purchase the PS2 version specifically for this video, which means I now own this game on 3 different consoles. I have a problem.
Realistically, you're probably better off playing the PS4 remake. It's pretty much the same game and it looks beautiful, but for whatever it's worth, I really enjoyed playing the original version again. But whichever version you pick, I highly recommend trying it out. To me, it stands out as one of the primary examples of the merit of video games as an art form. There's a very beautiful and deliberate sense of simplicity from the story to the gameplay, with no stereotypical video gamey elements to distract or take you out of the experience. And it's super impressive that they not only took on such an ambitious game for the PS2, but absolutely nailed it. It's a completely timeless game in my opinion, probably the best game on the entire console for me, only rivaled by one other game that we'll get to later.
Over the month, I did play a whole lot of PS2 games, some of which I didn't have as much to say about for one reason or another, so I'm gonna include a few of them in this segment.
Lightning round!
Odin Sphere.
This game is absolutely gorgeous. The levels look great, the characters look great, heck, even the food looks tasty. And speaking of food, you eat a lot of it. Like seriously, this girl has got to be up there as one of the most gluttonous video game characters to ever exist. My favorite part is how you can grow a literal sheep from a seed, only to instantly kill and eat that too. It's a very short and sad life. But eating is the only way to get XP in this game, so oh well. Sucks to suck.
Finding Nemo.
A game where you find Nemo.
Unfortunately, I never found him.
Oh wait, there he is.
That's my boy.
My favorite part of this game is all the shit smeared on the front of the box. Hot Shots Golf 3.
I love arcade sports games, so I was really excited to try this one out when I found it randomly at a thrift store. And I'm glad I did because it's probably my favorite golf game now. The characters are admittedly hit or miss. What if there was a stereotypical Australian guy? What if there was a stereotypical Chinese lady?
I can't believe it. I go back to China.
What if there was an annoying guy who dies a lot? For some reason. The gameplay is super challenging in a good way. You have to maintain your focus and A game throughout the entire 18-hole course if you want to place well. So when you do come in clutch and make a really great shot, it's super rewarding. It's also rewarding to complete rounds because you make money when you do, and you can spend it on a bunch of different things in the shop like new clubs or balls, or even just aesthetic things.
I actually did play this game a lot. I just don't have that much to say about it, really.
Dude, you're slipping.
Gotta work harder.
Last and probably least, Shrek 2.
This game is 25% beat 'em up game, 25% puzzle game, and 50% the worst jokes ever written.
Over here! Help! Hanging out can be fun, but that was ridiculous.
Most of the time you couldn't even call them jokes.
It's Fiona time.
I'm honestly not sure if there's a single funny joke in this entire game.
I promised my grandmother I'd get some chickens for her to make soup.
I'll call you Peppy.
Got room in the carriage? I've got a game to pitch in Far, Far Away.
What? I didn't press any buttons.
Lightning round over.
Magic Pengel the Quest for Color. This is another obscure PS2 game I'd never heard of before until I saw someone talking about it on the internet recently. I don't really know that much about it, but I thought it looked cute, so let's just check it out.
A long time ago, there were humans, and there were also drawings, also referred to as
Doodles.
Then one day, this guy was bad, so he put the drawings in a cage and pointed guns at them. But God got mad and said, you're not allowed to enslave doodles or make them fight anymore.
Cool. Now let's go enslave some drawings and make them fight each other.
But first, a tiny flying diaper baby is talking to me.
Feel free to draw any shape you wish using this pen gel.
And he taught me how to draw a pee-pee, which comes to life and bounces all over the place while happy music plays in the background. Daytime is here comes the sun. La la la.
That's a peanut.
Then a random girl shows up, she catches it, and then dies. It's basically a Monster Rancher clone, but instead of using CDs to make your monsters, or whatever you did in Monster Rancher, I've never actually played it, in Magic Pengel, you draw your monsters.
You draw pretty good for someone so new to doodling.
Thanks, I know. At first, you can only draw simple drawings, but as you level up, you can draw more and more complex doodles, and the more ink you use, the stronger they become. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's kind of vague. I looked online, and there's actually some pretty amazing doodles people have made, like this dog and frickin' Venusaur from Pokemon.
It's a pretty neat concept. The only problem is that I cannot draw, like, at all.
So I either had a bunch of random nonsensical shapes floating around, or, this? PP me, please. Not gonna lie, he's my MVP.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I was pretty excited to try out the actual monster duels, but unfortunately, it's the worst part of the entire game by far. You and your opponent both select what moves you want to do, either attack, block, charge, or magic. Attack beats block, block beats magic, magic beats attack, and charge basically heals. It's kind of complicated, but long story short, it's basically rock, paper, scissors. You just pick a move and then pray that the other guy picks the move that your move is strong against. It's complete luck, and I ended up losing a lot because of it, even in the early game. But to be fair, I was facing some pretty steep competition.
My mommy said I could come play here today.
Foot vet! Foot vet! No!
The combat may be bad, but I did end up playing for a while just to kind of see more of the story and the cutscenes. It's nothing crazy, just a charming little game with a fun concept and cute art style and characters. It almost feels like playing through a Ghibli movie.
Well, a Ghibli movie with a character named Foot Fet and bouncing blue titties. It's basically like a Ghibli movie, though.
Jaws Unleashed!
A Jaws game where you play as the shark. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Shark! Oh my god. I didn't think that was actually gonna work. The first tutorial level is amazing. Just eating people. Destroying stuff. The kind of thing you'd expect from a game where you play as Jaws, and it definitely delivers. Then there's a second level where you're captured and have to escape. It's still pretty entertaining, albeit a bit of a mess. You have to use an actual key card to open the door, and you do that by jumping out and freaking Samuel L. Jacksoning one of the scientist guys, and then you drag his body over to the kiosk to scan it. It's not as good as the first level, but it's pretty funny, and it's also entertaining to break everything and watch all the people get washed away.
But unfortunately, it really starts to go downhill around this point.
The game starts to throw more and more enemies and even bosses at you to add a challenge, and it gets pretty hard pretty fast. I'm freaking Jaws. I just want to feel powerful. I just want to kill people. I want to pick up their helpless bodies and just... But instead, you get shot a lot, and you die. Pathetically. Even other sharks come after you for some reason? Why are you attacking me? I am your god! This is treason! And the controls are serviceable enough when you're just bullying vulnerable beachgoers, but when you're attacked, often from multiple angles, it just gets frustrating trying to target enemies, even with the lock-on feature, and it really only gets worse the further you play.
I ended up spending most of my time in the free roam mode, just swimming around killing innocent, defenseless people.
I'm a giant shark and I am going to kill you. I'm a giant shark and I am going to kill you. I'm a giant shark and I am going to kill you. You have no chance to live, I'm going to fucking kill you. Oh my god. This game is awesome. Man, after playing this game and Grand Theft Auto, I feel like I have to confess my sins.
The Bible game!
Yes, a Bible game show.
Welcome everyone to Do Unto Others, the game show that tests your knowledge of Old Testament stories.
Don't try to pretend like you're not excited.
First we choose our character. I think I'll be yellow. For piss.
I was drunk and I pissed myself. Okay.
And now it's time to praise the Lord. In a game of Bible game, you attempt to earn points through rounds of Old Testament trivia and Bible-related mini-games. The catch is there's a sort of hot potato mechanic called Wrath of God, where the game can end at any point and whoever's turn it is at that time loses all their points.
Wrath of God!
No, God, please don't do.
You lose all of your points this time around.
Oh, not my piss points. There's 12 mini games in total. The children climb a ladder thousands of feet in the sky. The children get attacked by snakes. The children get mauled by lions. This is what God wanted. You were back. And what kind of music do you think would be playing during these mini games? Whatever you're thinking, no. How about a little Christian rock? Okay, I'm just gonna, yeah. There we go.
Luckily, with my superior video gaming skills and my expert Bible knowledge.
Which day of the creation did God create man?
Oh, shit, me too? The 7th.
The answer we are looking for is
6th.
I easily came out on top.
Do the piss dance. Do the piss dance. Do the piss dance.
This is probably the best religious game I've ever played, although that isn't saying that much.
Though I'd still probably rather play it than the Shrek game. Sorry, Shrek. We love Katamari.
Hello, you're looking really great tonight, or today, or whatever it is. I love Katamari, you love Katamari. One could say we love Katamari. I also love when all my game footage corrupts and I'm not able to use the footage that I spent a long time recording. That's one of my personal favorite things that I love, and that definitely did not happen with We Love Katamari. I just decided to mention it. This video needs to go out tomorrow as I'm recording this. It's like midnight, and I do not have time to replay all the way through We Love Katamari, so I'm just kind of winging this segment here now. But yeah, I always loved the original Katamari Damacy. It was the first PS2 game I ever played, but I never really played much of the sequel, We Love Katamari, which is why I chose to play it for this video. And yeah, I played all the way through it, and it was a lot of fun. Too bad I don't have the evidence of that via the footage that I recorded anymore. It's a great game though. You should check it out maybe, if you want. Maybe you'll have as much fun as I did playing through and beating this game that I wrote an entire segment for and now can no longer use. Did I mention you're looking great today? But yeah, it's a great game, but it's kind of missing one particular thing that the original game had.
Oh, I feel it. I feel the cosmos.
Yeah, that kid.
The prince broke up the moon he just made. Rich people sure are different.
Can we bring back that kid, please?
I can make a rainbow come out of my mouth too now. Pyong.
But yeah, on to the last game. Thanks for watching, by the way. Love ya. I played a lot of PS2 games this month. Some good, some less good.
But I saved one of, if not the best PS2 game for last. Silent Hill 2.
In Silent Hill 2, you play as James Sunderland, who's come to the town of Silent Hill to look for his wife who died 3 years prior after receiving a letter she wrote telling him to find her there. But I don't know, seems kinda suspicious to me. I mean, I don't know why she'd be in a creepy place like this. Oh wait. There she is! That's my wife! It wasn't really on my mind when I started this video, but coincidentally there was a remake of this game that released recently. I have been able to play it and I do have some thoughts, but I am gonna keep my focus mostly on the PS2 version since that's what this video is about. And the original version is, again, still very, very good. Sure, some things are a little clunky and awkward by today's standards. The combat. There's a lot of checking the map every 5 seconds to figure out where you're supposed to be going. I mean, look at this map. What the hell is this?
What the hell is even that?
And there's plenty of...
I can't get the door open. 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 I can't get the door open.
Hell, the most iconic character in the entire series is the Pyramid Head. He's scary, he's powerful, he's intimidating, but the first time you actually fight him, you just kind of awkwardly run back and forth over and over until he gets bored and leaves.
But despite all that, this game has aged insanely well, in my opinion.
This isn't some normal horror game that relies solely on action, monsters, or gory death scenes. Well, that's not good. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this is different. This is a psychological horror game. It's deep. Get it? He's going down. In the past, I've played this a couple times, but it was mostly just for old top 10 videos I was making or whatever. I never beat the game, and I didn't really take time to fully immerse myself into the story. Well, this time, I spent about 3 nights in a row staying up late doing almost nothing but playing. I completely engrossed myself into it, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't mess with my head a little bit for a couple days afterwards. While playing through the game, I found myself weirdly relating to the main character, James Sunderland, in certain little ways. I mean, I've obviously never... spoiler alert.
Murdered my wife? At least not as far as you know. It wasn't anything specific, more of a subtle feeling. But suffice it to say, subtly or not, this isn't exactly the kind of game where you want to feel like you relate to any of the characters.
That odd connection I felt to James made the realization of what truly happened all the more disturbing as it's painstakingly revealed through unsettling cutscenes and sometimes very subtle and sometimes very not subtle symbolism. Jumping into an open grave with my name on it? Huh.
That probably doesn't mean anything. saying.
The remake obviously feels a lot more polished and modern, from the cutscenes to the graphics to the combat, but I still personally find the outdated PS2 version to be a bit scarier, at least from a psychological horror perspective.
Now, some of the enemies, on the other hand...
Oh my god!
That
The mannequins in particular are super paranoia-inducing. No room feels safe. There could always be one of them awkwardly hiding under a table or some shit, just ready to smack you with her insanely long arm-leg kick. Whereas the mannequins in the original game just kinda do this at you a lot. I don't mean to downplay the horror elements of the PS2 version, there's definitely some scary parts.
What the f was that?
I mean, it's still probably scarier than a lot of modern horror games that I've played, but the scariest part of the game is by far the story. It's not just the enemies that are scary. The real monster is you. Or something like that anyway.
And that wraps up my entire month of PS2 games. There's definitely some very popular PS2 games I didn't play, big, long RPGs like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that. But I was still able to play through a lot more games than I expected, and honestly, I had a lot of fun with this little challenge. And again, if you guys like this, let me know in the comments what console could I play for 1 month in the future. Hit the like button and make sure you subscribe for more videos coming soon.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to jump down some more cryptic-looking holes.
Yeah!